Welcome to Colortronics. Today we'll be sharing some tips and tricks for one of the best games for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Excitebike. Excitebike was originally released for the Famicom system in 1984 and ported to NES in 1985. A fun fact about Excitebike is that the game engine they made to make Excitebike was later used to develop the original Super Mario Bros. Now I'll assume you can find your way around basic gameplay and controls, so let's get right to the tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks, tips and tricks, tips and tricks, tips and tricks.
Tip number 1, land with both wheels on the ground. In Excitebike, you're going to be going off a lot of jumps. One of the most important things to do is try to land parallel to the ground with both wheels touching at the same time. If you don't, you will lose precious seconds off your time. Tip 2, press the A-B buttons when you crash. If you happen to crash, you'll land in the grass and you'll have to get back on your bike. When this happens, keep pressing the A and B buttons to get back on your bike as fast as possible. Tip 3, control jump angle and distance. Some jumps are spread apart, while others are really close together or have obstacles after them. So you'll need to approach each jump differently. When you're hitting the jump, hold down the left button to go higher, or hold down the right button to go lower. Use this along with turbo to control how far you will go after each jump. Tip number 4, hit
The cool zone.
You'll see these arrow marks on the tracks that often appear more towards the top of the track, but sometimes at the bottom. Now, I've seen these referred to as turbo strips, but if you look in the original manual for Excitebike, you'll see that these are called cool zones. Passing through the cool zone will reduce your engine temp so you don't overheat and can use turbo for longer. Tip number 5, knock other riders down. If you're playing in Selection B, you'll be racing other motocross riders. You'll notice that some of them try to pursue you and follow right behind you. If they hit your tire, however, it will cause them to crash. You can use this strategically, but just be careful because the same thing can happen to you. That's it for our tips and tricks for Excitebike. Thank you for tuning in to Colortronics. If you've enjoyed this content, I've got a lot more like this lined up. Feel free to subscribe to stay in touch, and we'll see you next time. Have fun.